We got to air it out. Let's air it out. So we got to air it out. Let's air it out. So
how do you say that? Air it out? Air it out?
Air it out.
Hey, my guys, it's time to air it out. I'm your humble host, Ron Jones. I was just rocking out to that intro. I love that beat. But I'm here with my special guys. How y'all doing today? I got my guy, Darren Braxton. How you doing, my man?
Not too bad. Can't complain. Football starts very, very soon. So it's go time, baby. It's go time.
It's go time, baby. It's go time. And Mr. Darius Riddick right down here. Welcome back. We haven't seen you in a while. What's going on, my man? How everything's going? How you feeling as a Pat fan? Are you still good? You feeling better this year? How you feeling?
I'm a lot better. All I'm gonna say is Belichick pulled the plug on Julio. I don't know why it's taking so long. I need to wake up tomorrow with a breaking news headline saying Julio Jones traded to the Patriots, kind of like when AB signed to the Patriots and we traded for Randy Moss back in 06-07. So I need that type of energy really to fulfill the offseason. So if that happens, we good over here.
Man, yeah, get him, man.
Don't hate. Listen, man, don't hate, man. Y'all worry about y'all. Don't worry about us. You know
I hate it even more because it's actually a possibility. So I hate it that much more just because of that. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk some AFC anyway. But we're gonna talk about the AFC West. I want us to do some AFC draft grades. So if you haven't been watching our previous episodes, go check them out. We did some draft grades on them as well. We're going to finish up some of that today. But before we start up, guys, everybody that's watching, first and foremost, thank you for watching. We do appreciate everybody that's watching. We are an interactive podcast. So if you have any questions, if Darren says something stupid today, let him know. Like, tell them off. Like, yo, what was that? Or if you even just want to go in and just hashtag 350, you can do that as well. So, guys, we're going to go right in here. If you don't know what we were talking about, please go to our old episodes. They're all on YouTube. So if you go in here and you're watching on YouTube, either you're watching live or you're watching later on, go subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can see when we're on live, and just come in and have a good time with us. But we're going to start off with our first topic. Like I said, we got our first commenter, and that is Darren Braxton.
Hashtag 350.
He had to do it. He had to do it. All right. First comment was the Darren Braxton. All right. But guys, thank you so much for being in here if you are watching. So AFC West draft grades. Darius, you haven't been here for a while, so I'm gonna start you off. Give us your draft grades for these guys.
So yeah, it's been a while, man, since I've been here. I'm going to go with the team that I always think is going to win that division, and it always fails me every time when I say their name because of the offseason that they have and all the good stuff on defense with Von Miller coming back. They got Bradley Chubb.
Don't wait.
They got all this good stuff, man.
Pause before you start. No hot takes today, please. You've been giving this team bad omens every year. The last 2 years, you said it was gonna be.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say they're gonna win the division. I'm gonna give my grade and call it a day. I'm gonna give them a C plus. I think just because of the biggest issue that they needed was a quarterback. Obviously, they got Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. They're gonna bat it off a training camp, but those guys aren't your long-term solution. I thought that, especially with the fact that Justin Fields fell down, that they were going to grab him, but they went defense. So with the mindset looks like what Denver is, they're going to go with either Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock, and they're just going to go off their defense. How they won in 2015 the Super Bowl, they're going to utilize the defense and make sure that their defense is as strong as possible. So getting Patrick Surtain, obviously he's the number one corner. He's going to be a number one corner for 4 or 5 years, maybe possibly 6. So I think that was good. That was like probably one of the biggest surprises because I thought, especially because Justin Fields fell, I thought they were going to go quarterback, or you possibly could trade back and get some picks. But the fact that they went defense, that just goes to show what their mindset is going into this season. Hey, we're getting Von Miller back. We're going to use we got Justin Simmons. We signed him. We're going to have our defense is going to lead us to the promised land, especially in a division where you got the Kansas City Chiefs. You got the Oakland Raiders. You have Chargers, who are going to get, obviously they're going to get better with what they did. And then moving to the Chargers, man, I think they really stole the draft by just getting the I would give them a B plus A minus just because they got the biggest need, offensive tackle, something that Justin Herbert, we all talked about it coming into the offseason. He just get this man some protection. And not only did they do that in the draft, but they did that in the offseason. And I think when you get a guy like that who can just sit back in the pocket and really survey the field, and you get him somebody that can protect his blind spot, I think you kind of, and you address one of the biggest needs. To me, you already start off with a high grade because you address that in the first round. And then after that, you kind of just build off that. Obviously, that defense is going to get better. So I think with them, I give them the A. The Kansas City Chiefs, it really wasn't too much they needed. I mean, they get an A just because of what they did. They traded their first round pick to get Orlando Brown, right? You got to add that into their grade. Something that we saw what happened with Patrick Mahomes. You don't protect your franchise quarterback. What happens? He was running around the field. He couldn't throw the ball. He couldn't really survey the field like he did. And we know what Patrick Mahomes can do when he runs around the field. Like when he moves out the pocket, he can still make some throws. But it was to the point where he couldn't even do that. So what did they do? They traded away their first round pick, which they felt like we don't really need it because we're going to be picking in the 30s anyway. We don't feel like it's probably going to be a player that we want there. So we're going to get Orlando Brown to protect them. So I think by that, and then just focus on that defense, helping that defense, because that's always been a question mark for them, just getting some solid key pieces on the defensive end. I think that was a major blossom for them. So, and then for the Oakland Raiders, I mean, they kind of just didn't really do anything to separate themselves or try to make them a winning team. So I gave them a C. I think the only really good thing was getting Trayvon Moehrig, the safety. I think that's a still. I think he's going to come in there. I think he's going to help that defense. But I still think they had a little bit of question marks on the offensive line that they really didn't address, especially because they started to release their offensive line. They didn't really address it as they should in the draft. So I think I gave them a C.
All right, Darren, what do you think, man?
So I'm gonna start off kind of the same way he did. You got to go with the Broncos, man. They had a bit of a surprise in that top 10. Instead of going quarterback, they went Patrick Surtain, and I fully agree with Darius on this. They're fully going 2015 mode and saying, "Hey, this defense will carry us to the promised land, and we will make it there with either Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater." If Teddy Bridgewater is a quarterback, that would be a great comparison. Peyton Manning was not on his best year at all in 2015. He managed the game well, and that's something that Teddy Bridgewater does very well. And if Drew Lock can take that next step and be a great game manager as well, that team is set up for success with the offense that they have and the weapons there, and that defense coming back with all the pieces. And then you add also Javonte Williams from North Carolina to that backfield with Melvin Gordon. I really like that pick right there. I liked the center that they grabbed in Menarez. He's a great prospect there, and as well, I really, really like the the drafting of Browning from Ohio State. I feel like he can definitely flourish in that Vic Fangio defense, especially at that linebacker position where they really kind of need a little bit more help. Chiefs, they got a B plus for me. A B to a B plus easy. And just going off of their first three things, you have to include Orlando Brown as their number one pick. The guy is a beast. Let's just be honest. He fell in the draft when he originally got drafted, but it was not really something that should have happened. He should have been at least in the first round, but he went in the third to us. So they got lucky. We got lucky. And now it works out for everybody. He's going to be a great blindside protector for Patrick Mahomes for a long time to come. Then you also get the center and Creed Humphreys to go along with that new revamped line. They just hit it out the park with that for me. And I also like in the later rounds, Powell from Clemson, the wide receiver. I feel as though, especially going to the Chiefs, anytime a good, taller wide receiver can go there, it makes it a lot better for their development. That's just a team that does very well with wideouts. The best grade, honestly, was for me the Chargers. I gave them a B plus or A minus easily. You got to think about their first 3 or 4 picks. You get Slater with the first one. You don't have to jump to try to get a guy. He's one of the best tackles to help with Justin Herbert. You get Samuels, a corner, who's going to be great at either in the slot or on the outside of more of a zone guy, which I really would love. Then you have Palmer, the wide receiver, which was a little bit questionable, but because Mike Evans is in a Mike Williams is in a contract year, it makes a little bit more sense there. And then you also get McKitty, who is a good, not great, but a good tight end who can help mitigate some of that loss from losing Hunter Henry. Also, the edge, they got a great prospect in Rumph II to help mitigate the loss from Melvin Ingram, who was a great stud for them on defense. And I would have liked to see them go corner again, but that's kind of already why they got a A- from me. And last but not least, the Raiders, they got a C+. I'm sorry. The Raiders, I really don't know what you were doing as much, but I will give you this. Leatherwood and Morrig, even if you switch the spots, those two were the best picks that they had, hands down. They needed a safety that can be integral on that defensive back end, and they needed to revamp that offensive line after blowing it up this offseason. Those two great positions that they went and got some type of upgrade for. I like that they still addressed with their defense with Coons on the defensive line. But the one thing that really confused me was right after getting Morrig, they then double dipped again for safety. So I don't know if they really trust their safeties at all, but they knew they had to get younger there. So I was a little confused. I would have loved to see them maybe get a corner instead of another safety after already getting two early on. But other than that, Chiefs C+.
Definitely. I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna start with the Raiders. I'm gonna give them a C. They're lucky they don't get any less than that. I think that the pick that really helped them was getting Trevon Morway, like you said. But the fact that they got Diablo and Tyree Lipsy, a guy that we interviewed, but that's three other safeties. They've been drafting safeties like crazy the last couple of years. Alex Leatherwood at 17, way too early. Malcolm Coons, I like him. He got picked way too early. I think like Jimmy Morrison, I think he could be a solid guy. I don't know if he's going to be a starter at any point, but I really root for him. I like him. But it hurts me so much because I'm a huge John Gruden and Mike Mayock fan. Got to meet both of them at the Senior Bowl. Really nice guys, but it just sucks that I feel like Mike Mayock is getting way too excited about a player and he's just overdrafting people right now. And it's crazy because he probably could have switched those 1 and 2 and Morway, you could have maybe made a case for him, but Alex Leatherwood could definitely been a second round pick. And I think they could have still got him at that point. So they could have traded down and still got him and got some more picks. But that just made, I don't know. I'm gonna move on from that one. So yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna give him a C. I'm not gonna overdo it with them. The LA Chargers, one of my favorite drafts. Rashawn Slater, like I said before, most impacted rookie that's going to be on his team. That's going to really impact his team, I believe, because they really revamped their offensive line. I feel like he was the missing piece they needed, and the offensive line is going to be way better. And they got a young quarterback, so that's great for them. Obviously, Asante Samuel Jr. is a really talented cornerback. I would love to see him paired up with Derwin James in the backfield, and Nasir Adderley and all of them. That secondary gonna look crazy, and you gotta remember they still got Joey Bosa underneath. Joey. I always get those two confused. Joey and Nick. So yeah, McKitty. A lot of people think like McKitty got overdrafted. I don't think so. I like him right there. I think they probably could have got somebody a little bit more athletic at that point because McKitty don't have a lot of experience playing at Georgia. So, but I think they went more with upside rather than just straight experience. Plus, this year was just weird anyway when a lot of people were, opting out and this and that. So we see with that. Brandon James, I think he's going to be a really solid another offensive tackle for them. A guy that we interviewed. So I think that he's going to be a really good guy as well. Moving on to the Chiefs. I'm going to give the Chiefs a B. I agree. Excuse me. I'm sorry. The Chargers gave a B+. The Chiefs, I'm gonna give them a B, simply because I think at the end of their draft was a little bit lighter. Well, I'm sorry, in the middle of the draft, a little bit lighter. But Nick Bolton, pair him up with Willie Gay. We talked about this off air. He's going to be a great – they're going to have some fast linebackers back there, man. And, everybody used to pick on their defense because, everybody knew their offense was good. Their defense is going to start getting really good, especially if the young guys start playing. Obviously, you got, like your guys say, you got to factor in the offensive lineman from Baltimore. I forget his name. Help me out, Baltimore. Orlando Brown.
Baby Zeus, people, come on,
Baby
man.
Zeus. You know what? I was actually about to call him Baby Zeus, and I was like, let me not, because mess myself
man,
up.
He Baby Zeus. It is what it is.
Yeah, he Baby Zeus. And then Powell's a good big receiver, and getting Trey Smith in the 6th-round pick, that was a steal. He, the only reason he got selected that far down because he was having a lot of heart issues. And then the last team we'll talk about is the doesn't pay everybody already? Said the Chargers. Said the
Broncos.
The Broncos.
Broncos? Okay. Oh, the Broncos. All right. Broncos, I gave them a A. I don't know about you guys, but they had a phenomenal draft. Darius, what did you give them? You gave them a B plus, a B, or B minus?
B minus, C plus.
You're tripping on that one. I'm sorry. Patrick Surtain, they already have a really good secondary pick. Patrick Surtain in there. Now you can have a good, solid 5 to 6 DBs in the backfield and don't have to worry about that. And plus, you have Nick Chubb. Hopefully, he comes back and be healthy. And then, obviously, Von Miller, who's coming up in age, but he's coming off an injury as well. Them two coming in, you're going to have a good time. Javion Williams from North Carolina was still in the 2nd round. Got him. I think that he could have possibly been maybe a late 1st-round pick. Quinn Meyer, put him on our offensive line with Dawson Reisner. I think them two are going to be a great pair. Then you got the safety Caden Stearns. You got Seth Williams, another big wide receiver with all the other good receivers they have. And the steals of the draft was the guys they got in the 7th round. They killed this draft. They got Kerry Vincent Jr., a DB from LSU. Then they got Jonathan Cooper, defensive end from Ohio State. That just tells you all you have to know right there. They did a really good job right there, and I think they killed it with that draft. So I don't know about you, Darius. B minus. You're tripping.
Listen,
maybe you feel some type of way because you.
I didn't want to take some and give them an A, and then they were doing it in the draft. We literally talked about this before the episode. Yeah. Literally before we did this. So
I'm not gonna word for you, man. You good? I'm not gonna word for already. You can't.
All right, I'm good. All right, cool. Exactly. My grades still stand.
Hello, Avery. What's going on, my man? Avery Collins is in the building. How you doing, man?
What up? Hopefully y'all can hear me. Am I lagging? Is it bad?
We can hear you, but you are lagging. Your video's lagging. Your voice is okay, though, I think.
Yikes. Well, I'm going to try to stay still.
What's going on, man? Topic? Yes, sir. The AFC West draft. You want to chime in real quick?
Sure. Is this the first topic, or we are? We on the?
This is the first topic. This is the first topic.
All right. Well, I'm gonna agree with you. I think the Broncos won as far as this division. I gave the Broncos an A minus. Not a solid A, but an A minus. Obviously, like you said, Patrick Surtain, phenomenal. Adding to that defense, that now you can potentially have a healthy Von Miller, a healthy Bradley Chubb, and got Patrick Surtain on the back end, and they just picked up another corner. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Kyle Fuller.
Thank you, Kyle Fuller. I think they're going to be really good. They're going to be tough to beat, and I think they made the right decision in drafting Patrick Surtain. You got to compete with the Chiefs, right? And with all of the firepower they have, I think they did a really good job in solidifying, the back end of their defense. Then you've got I guess I'll just, go with the Chiefs. I gave the Chiefs B, solid B. I don't think they did anything that kind of really blew me away. I think there's not too many holes right on that team, so there's not too much they could have done. Essentially, that would have been like, oh snap, that was, that's going to make them contenders. They're already contenders, right? So I think that I gave them a B there. Who should I go next?
Raiders.
Okay, all right, I'll go Raiders. I gave the Raiders a solid B, maybe a B plus. I think that they are. Y'all good? Why y'all all react like that? Oh man. And here's the reason why. The reason I say that is because they have listen, okay? They have a lot of holes. And as much as I would have liked them to I mean, it was their draft position that I think kind of hurt them a little bit. So I think for me, it was a situation where they are filling positions of need rather than going for the best player available. And I'm not against that strategy, especially because of the fact that the Raiders still have cap space and they still have a lot of picks coming up in the future. So that's the reason I gave them a B, maybe a B plus. And last but not least, I'm dapping the name here. The
Chargers.
Goodness, the Chargers. I don't know why I was getting ready to say San Diego. I'm like, it's not San Diego. Where are they? It's LA. The Chargers.
Come on, man. It's been a couple of years now. You have to be used to it by now.
Listen, I don't know. Just something. I don't know.
We're having technical difficulties
as well. I think they did pretty well with their draft picks. Can you guys hear me?
You're delayed, but go ahead.
Are we good? I can't even hear you guys. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, I gave the Chargers a B. I think they did pretty well. I think they did a phenomenal job in saying, hey, we're going to protect our quarterback. We're going to protect our investment, drafting offensive line. So I think a phenomenal doing by them in the draft. So, yeah, those are my draft picks.
All right, cool.
Or draft grade.
Avery came in and messed up our flow, but it's okay. It's okay. He's trying. He's struggling over here, but he's trying. All right, let's talk about most appreciated. It's supposed to be most underappreciated. So the most underappreciated player in the AFC, who would that be? I'm gonna start with you, Darren. Who you think is the most unappreciated player in the AFC besides somebody on the Ravens?
I was gonna say that besides someone on Baltimore.
Right?
Listen, guys. I had a couple options for the Ravens.
My man was gonna say Sammy Watkins.
I was gonna say Lamar Jackson.
No, not at all. My picks were actually Gus Edwards and Chuck Clark. I feel like those are two really underappreciated players in this league that does very well in their roles for this team. But I'm not gonna go there today. What I actually want to do is I'm gonna go in a whole different way. So I got three guys that you don't really hear too much about, but their impacts on their team is ridiculous. First guy I got here is Derek Noddy from the Chiefs at defensive tackle. Him paired with Jones has been an absolute terror for people. Noddy is one of the best run-stopping linemen in the league. Hands down, he's been rated in the top 3 and the top 5 to the last 3 years. And then compare him with Jones. Oh my God, that pass rushing in the run, it's ridiculous. So definitely a shout out to him. Tight end from the Titans. It's not John New, people. It's Anthony Fercher. The guy has only played 348 snaps, but has 387 yards along with 39 receptions. 15 of those receptions are for first downs. And he's become a great target in the red zone for Mr. Ryan Tannehill, somebody he looks to very often, especially in the playoffs. So he's definitely developed into a weapon that they have not utilized well. But with Jonnu Smith leaving now, he's definitely going to be a weapon to utilize. And last but not least, Jordan Poyer. I don't know if people know about this man, but if you don't, where are you at? You're under a rock. Jordan Poyer has been one of the best overall safeties in this league for at least the last 3 or 4 years.
Very underappreciated.
Damn.
Very underappreciated.
Damn. If we're getting real people, he's been in the top 3 of coverage and safeties and top 5 in the last 4 years. In my opinion, he's easily a top 10 safety in this league. You can't tell me otherwise. You can name 9 other people maybe, but you ain't naming 10.
All right, Darren, that was a very good one. A little bit of a side note here. Darren Poyer used to be on the Eagles. Started off on the Eagles. We always cutting, man. We always cutting. Good
Just
players.
imagine if he was there now.
Ooh, bro. Anyway, yeah, he used to be on the Eagles. So, Derek, who you got, man?
Let's see. I'm gonna go with somebody who missed all of 2020 with an injury. We talked about this guy last year, Cortland Sutton, and I think he's underappreciated just because of what he brings. When he in 2019, that year, he was arguably one of the best receivers in the league. He came in, did what he had to do, and he was a threat. Obviously, he didn't even have the proper quarterback throwing to him. So now you got him in a situation where he's coming back off an injury. He has a quarterback like Teddy Bridgewater who can throw the ball to him. So I think he's a really underappreciated player in the AFC. And I think on that Denver team, he's underappreciated just because of he missed the 2020 season, and the Denver kind of struggled without him. And I think you bring him back, you add Noah Fant, you got Teddy Bridgewater. That Denver offense, it can be really scary. It's just a matter of players staying healthy. So I think he's one of the most underappreciated players in the AFC. Back to your point, Darren Jordan Poyer, I think he is too, especially in the AFC. I mean, you really can't name 9 other safeties that's better than him, or even a few safety that's better than him in the AFC outside of, obviously the IS. I think he's one of those guys who comes in, does what he has to do, and his stats, he shows up in the stat box. He's doing everything. He's doing all the little things and all the big things that Buffalo asks of him. And I don't think when we talk about top safeties, people tend to leave his name out. And I think we have to start to really pay attention. He is, I believe he's 30 years old, so his age he is up there in age, but I think he's still going to be able to produce, especially now that Buffalo is going to start to generate a pass rush. So I think you're gonna see a little bit more of him down the box or playing that free safety role back there, picking all passes. So those are the 2 guys who I think in the AFC are underappreciated.
Real quick, Darren.
My guy, Jordan Poyer, top 3 safety tandem in the AFC.
Oh, tandem, yes.
5 in the entire league.
I think I agree with that. All right, I'm going to give you my guy. He's a guy that I wanted the Eagles to get. Obviously, that's always happened. He's on a team that I actually hate. I don't hate them more than Cowboys, obviously. I don't hate them more than Patriots, obviously. But I do hate this team. But he played in the big house, Big Blue, go Blue. My man, and you guys don't think I'm crazy for this, but Devin Bush. Very unappreciated because he came in as a rookie, had an immediate impact on our defense, and the stats may not necessarily show right away because he had a lot of tackles for our team, but he was in coverage a lot. And as soon as he got injured, Micah Fitzpatrick production went down. So watch next year. If Micah production goes back up, there's a pattern there because Devin Bush is covering everything underneath, which is allowing Micah to just fly around the back. And I think that him not being on that defense last year really hurt that defense in a big way. So that's who I got as the most unappreciated. What you guys think about that?
Honestly, I agree, man. I think Devin. like you said,
what's going on, Slippery Sports Show? What's going on? Thank you for your chat here.
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
I like the pick, man. I like the pick. I think when you come in as a rookie and you're able to make an immediate impact off the rip, I think you're doing something right. And then he got hurt this past season, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. Whenever you get hurt and your team suffers from that, that shows you the value that person has. And I think when he comes back, that's why Steelers fans are so excited, because they're getting guys back on the defensive end, something that has been carrying the Steelers for most of Big Ben's tenure is the defense. Obviously, the offense has been putting up numbers, but that defense has been really the glue to their success. So now you get a guy like Devin Bush coming back. It's just going to make that defense a lot better. And like you said, Jerome, now you got Mika just being able to fly all around the field, doing what he does best when they actually traded him for him. And you saw the production and how good that defense was when both of those guys were healthy and on the field playing together.
Definitely. Darren, I want to know how you feel about this, because they're in your division. And then,
so I didn't actually like them getting Devin Bush in the initial draft, because I knew how much of a headache he would be for us, and he turned out to be that type of headache. When you paired him with Minka Fitzpatrick with the ability to rush the quarterback like they do with T.J. Watt and Cameron Hayward in the inside, it allowed Devin Bush and Minka to truly just be roamers. And that's a scary thing, especially against any team, honestly. But especially to the Ravens, who at the time didn't have as many weapons, and they knew who they had to target. And they had the speed enough to stick with Lamar. So I hated it, but I love the player.
100% agree. I'm not sure if we have Avery in the building. He looks like he's frozen. Avery, can you hear us? All right, I think we don't have Avery's right now. It's gonna have to be me and you right now, man. All right, let's get to our last topic before we get off of here, man. We're just losing people like flies right now. Which team that missed the playoffs do you think will be poised to make a playoff push this year? Who you got?
So it was a lot of good teams, honestly, that didn't make the playoffs, and that improved a whole lot this offseason. My top choices, though, and they're kind of in this order. It would be the Colts, the Pats, and the Dolphins. That would be my top tier 3 guys that would have that chance to be able to get in. My next tier is the 49ers, Cardinals, and Chargers. 49ers, Cardinals, and Chargers going on the next tier because of their divisions that they are in and how tough those divisions are. When you think about the NFC West, you have the Seahawks, the Rams, the 49ers, and the Cardinals. All teams that can make a legit playoff run. Then you have the Chargers, who's with the AFC West, and the Broncos and the Chiefs. That's always a hard division right there. And don't sleep on the Raiders, because the Raiders have been very sneakily good these past couple of years. But the Colts, the Pats, and the Dolphins honestly have the best way. Yes, the Buffalo Bills are the kings of the AFC East right now, but the Dolphins were a very, very sneaky good team last year. And with the improvements that they made on the offense and the defense staying the way that it is, I really like their chances of going ahead.
It's all good, Avery. It's all good, man. We appreciate you, man. He said, my underrated player is, he'll let us know in a second. But go ahead, Darren. I'm sorry.
So then you have the Pats. The Pats retooled everything this offseason. They spent big, and they're getting a bunch of players back. So with Bill Belichick being able to now have at least more efficient offense with that 2 tight end set, Cam back, actual kind of weapons on the outside, I really like their chances of going ahead and sneaking into the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be a high seed, but I do see them maybe being a 6 or 7 seed. And the Colts, they were on the cusp last year. They lost out at the very end. So now with Carson Wentz, if Carson Wentz can bounce back and actually have a productive year as he was before, I really like the Colts' chance to win. I really do. Maybe not the whole thing, but I definitely can see them going into the playoffs and upsetting a guy.
Definitely. Before I get to my guys, Avery, I'll answer here. So he said, my underrated players is Derrick Henry's entire offensive line. He said the reason why is that not run Pro Bowler and he had over 2,000 yards. That is ridiculous. That is truly ridiculous. Offensive linemen need more love in this league, man. They don't get enough praise. They really don't. So I that was a good choice, Avery. He also said my teams that can make the playoffs are the Cardinals and the Dolphins. Yes, both of you definitely said that. I'm gonna give you two teams myself. One of which is a team that I keep talking about. I think this is gonna be a breakout year for this kid. He's gonna have the Mahomes second year type of year, I think. And this is the LA Chargers with Justin Herbert. That offensive line is going to be so much more better. It's not going to be funny. They got weapons out the wazoo. They drafted another wide receiver to help them out. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. I think Trey McKitty is going to have a productive year. He don't need to be Antonio Gates, or he don't need to be there Henry, but he's going to have a good year. I think he's going to have a solid year. I think that the defense, getting Derwin James back, they already got the Bosa guy, like I said earlier, my man Bosa. They got Asante Samuel Jr. He's going to be a solid corner for them. I think that the LA Chargers are going to be that team that's going to go to the next level, and they're going to have also Mr. Rockstar himself, Mr. Eckler, back in the backfield, rocking it out. He's going to be back. He's going to be fresh. He's going to be ready to go. I think that these guys are going to be so much more better this year with a more experienced quarterback, a better offensive line. They're just going to rock it out. Avery said good choice. Defense, if healthy, it's going to be really good, and I 100% agree with that. Derwin James is hungry. He is hungry. He's been sitting down playing Madden all season. He's ready to come in and play and fly around and hit somebody. And I guarantee that he's gonna do that. He's a very athletic safety. I hope he comes back and come back strong. I really like the guy. I think that he can have a great career if he stays healthy.
And real quick comment. The Chargers, they have a very, very sneaky, but yet can be a very, very dangerous tandem. And Joshua Kelly at running back, along with Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is the more electric, the fast, the shifty guy, the guy that can catch out the backfield. While Joshua Kelly, we've seen it last year. He can be that workhorse, pound the ball inside, get the tough yards.
He just got to work on the fumbles, because he's getting a couple of fumbles in there. And the thing is, he really got in the doghouse. Now they got a whole new coaching staff and everything like that, so we'll see how that goes, if that's going to affect them in any kind of way. But this is a team that I think is going to make the playoffs, especially now that you got an extra playoff team in the playoffs this year too. I just think that the Chargers are poised to have a good year. Despite being in that division with the Chiefs, I still think they're going to have a good year.
Last thing, over or under 40 touchdowns for Justin Herbert.
Woo!
Remember, he had 31 or 32, I believe, last year.
Push. I'm pushing it. He's going to have 40 exactly. I'm pushing it.
Okay.
40 exactly. Avery says under. I want to say push. It's going or if not push, he's going to get really close, like a 38, 37, something like that. But I think he's going to be a lot better this year. They got weapons out of everywhere. Even their fourth wide receiver, I forgot his name.
Jalen Guyton. He's a speedster.
Guyton, yeah, there you go. Guyton. And actually,
take the top off.
And Parham was actually playing really well last year too. The really tall tight end. Justin Herbert was starting to like him at the end of the year as well. So these guys, man, people are kind of sleeping on their weapons a little bit. I don't know why people are not talking about the Chargers enough, but they look like a team that really retooled and can make some moves, man. I like it. I like what I see from them, so definitely. But we're going to end it there, guys. Darren, you got any other parting words before we end?
Oh, yeah, hot take. If the Chargers make the playoffs, Justin Herbert throws for 45 touchdown passes. And go just to Keenan Allen, baby. Let's be honest. 12 of them for Keenan Allen, and that would be his career high touchdown.
I love Keenan Allen, man. I love Keenan Allen.
Underrated.
That's an underrated
player.
That's an underappreciated guy. We probably should have said his name. He is very underappreciated. Like every time we talk about the top receivers, I feel like he always get left out, man. Like why? Why every year? You talking about fantasy drafts, and this guy's going like 5th, 6th round picks. I'm like, why? Why is everybody doing that to him? The guy is consistent every year. He had a couple of years in the beginning where he was injured, but he is a beast. He's up there, man. He need to get talked about a little bit more than he does. I really do think so. But that's gonna end it for us, guys. Appreciate everybody getting on. Also, please make sure if you are watching, we do appreciate you. Again, like I said, if you're watching now live, go hit that subscribe, hit that bell button. If you're watching later, also subscribe, hit that bell button so you can know when we start. And when we start getting the podcast on, you can listen to us. You can have your live comments. But if you don't get live comments, you can still comment on our YouTube channel, and we'll answer all your comments right on there. Any questions you have, please go on there, check it out. Inside searches on Inside the Hatches. Also, make sure you check out our website. We got all our content, all our podcasts, all our gaming, all our blogs on there. Everything you need football is all on our website, InsideTheHatches.com. Also, check out all our social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Inside the Hatches. And make sure you check out all our player interviews where we talked about a lot of these rookies that come in this year. We interviewed a lot of them, so make sure you check that out on all your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of those. We have it all on there. So thank you guys so much for checking us out this week. I'm Jerome Jones. We got Darren Braxton. Darius Riddick had to leave early. Avery Collins having technical issues, man. Hopefully next week we can get him on. But guys, thank y'all so much for checking us out, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Big trust, baby.